everyone. Nate Saunders here from Toronto. Thank you so much for taking the time to enter, and be a part of this session. Your lives are busy. You have a lot going on, but I really appreciate you taking the time to be a part of it. And for those who can't, if you're watching the recording, likewise, just thank you so much. We appreciate it. Things are a little bit on the fly here. I know Mike was supposed to do a quick introduction, but he just had to hop off. He's got some other stuff going on. Nevertheless, we're going to keep rolling. Gonna just quickly, if you haven't met already, my name is Nate Saunders, again, out of Toronto. Born in Montreal, did the majority of my refereeing there. Currently a FIBA official for Canada. Have been just so honored to have been assigned to a couple different tournaments here and there. And again, work locally, and I've got to meet a lot of great officials. Today I'm going to do a quick presentation on teamwork. Again, this was a presentation that I had the luxury of doing in April to a lot of officials in Ontario. What you're going to see tonight is going to be the exact same presentation. There's nothing that is going to be new. But for those who weren't able to attend, again, this is what I presented to them, and now we're going to be doing it across the country. So again, honored to be doing it for everyone here. Thanks so much for joining. Quick little preface before I start too. This presentation, I'm not reinventing the wheel in any way. This is just my take on teamwork. I'm a huge advocate of it. And these are some pointers and tips that I'd like to share with you all. So bear with me on the technological side of things. I'm going to try to do my best to make this as seamless as possible. Here comes the share screen, and we're going to get started. All right, is everyone seeing that share screen? How are we doing there, Rike? We're good?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, perfect. Thanks so much. All right, let's get started. So again, this presentation is based on team officiating, called Making the Third Team the Best Team. All right, we're going to explore a couple different aspects of team officiating tonight. Again, based on my experiences so far in officiating. Let's first look at the definition of team and establish what it is. So the word team, okay, it refers to a group of people who are interdependent with respect to information, resources, knowledge, and skills, and who seek to combine their efforts to achieve a common goal. All right. Again, keep in mind, no significant task can be accomplished without the help or cooperation of every team member. The success of every individual is bound to the success of the entire team. And team members need one another to get work done. Again, I'm a huge advocate of teamwork in all its shapes and forms. Again, without the team, we're all on our own island, and we'll talk about that and just the importance of being one on the court, working as a unit. Too often I find we work on our own island. A good example of that is we're going to pick on them here a little bit, but the NCAA. I know a lot of people have watched NCAA games in the past. Maybe it comes down to the Final Four when you'll get three exceptional referees, likely crew chiefs, and they get together in the Final Fours, or even the last game, and watch them work, and they're all doing their own thing, and it's disjointed. And sitting back as officials, us watching that, we can kind of see, well, the call criteria may not be the same based on who's making the call, and you kind of get the feeling that each one of them are trying to assert their dominance in the game by the calls they make. It's just not ideal. It's just not what we're aiming for, and the game suffers as a result. Conversely, we need to combine our skills rather than try to influence, overshadow, or alienate other team members. Okay? Success is only possible when a team succeeds. This comes back to other issues that us as officials we've probably seen or heard in games. You might have said to yourself even, man, my teammate is getting an earful from the coach over there. The coach is just giving it to them, right? Or even situations when a coach might even say to you, hey, ref, you're doing a great job, but your partner over there, man, they're just terrible, or something to that effect, right? Those are issues. Those are teamwork issues. Just the fact that it's, it's an observation you've made or something you've heard, that needs to be addressed. Okay, that needs to be addressed. The team needs to find a way to overcome that in the way you either respond to the coach, or as a team, we assist the member. I like to say, I don't like to say weakest, I like to say most developing member, but to get them back where we need them to be. Okay, so these are all team issues that need to be addressed and cannot be forgotten. Moving forward, teams, they typically refer to a small group.
Why is my headphones not working?
Oh, who's that we got there? Nick?
My bad.
It's all right, Nick. How you doing?
Talking
awesome,
about
awesome. We're gonna keep rolling. So teams typically refer to a small group of people that have complementary skills, have made a commitment to a common goal, performance targets, and an operating model. And teams also consider itself responsible for the team's performance. Okay, we're going to explore these concepts and how they relate to officiating. Going forward, we're going to take a look at the team dynamics framework. Okay, so the slide has been giving me a little bit of trouble. My apologies if it's a little disjointed. But there are a couple of aspects here in the team dynamics frameworks that are essential for teamwork to exist. Okay, number one is communication. Okay, communication is essential so that we avoid conflict as a team. The second is coordination. This is to avoid any confusion or overstepping of boundaries. The third is interdependence, and this is to maintain performance levels throughout. And lastly is cooperation. Cooperation is required to reduce the required produce the required results and sharing the workload. Okay, when all these are put together, we have teamwork. My apologies for the K being on another line there. All right, a couple quick images here. Again, this is what we typically envision as a team. Okay, as we see here, 3 FIBA officials. Whether you're in a group of 3, whether you're in a group of 2, it's irrelevant. Okay, we're all wearing the same shirt. We're all on the floor with the same goal, and we're all blowing into a box 40. Okay, I'm not pushing box 40. I'm just saying we're all blowing the same whistle with the same required outcome. Okay, the goal here is to always put your crew first at all costs. All right, from the FIBA perspective of things, okay, FIBA has one golden rule when it comes to prioritizing referee training for FIBA games, and that's game control. The 2 or 3 appointed referees are the ones who are responsible for this game control. Okay. Oops, and as you see, my slide is jumping over itself. But it says there, teamwork is defined as the smooth functioning of the referee team to provide proper coverage and control to a game. My apologies again, I'm not sure why it's doing that, it's acting up. Take a quick look at the roadmap here. And as again, refereeing is a layered approach. Okay, we develop skills, we progress and layer skills on as we move further and further into our refereeing careers. At the start, the fundamental thing is rule knowledge. Okay, if you don't know the rules, I suggest you come back when you do, because again, that's the foundation of everything. Okay? The second thing is mechanics. FIBA approved mechanics only, of course. Okay, the loose ball foul signal is a beautiful mechanic, but again, it's not in our FIBA approved mechanics. We only use FIBA when we're on the floor officiating our FIBA games. Individual officiating techniques, or IOTs, we'll look at that a little bit later, but do know this is a huge FIBA point of emphasis. Again, we will explore those a little bit later. Teamwork and communication, and that's the emphasis in our presentation today. game awareness, and then lastly, game control. Okay, and when we've been able to successfully layer those aspects, we get to our desired outcome, which is in all hopes a smooth outcome to the game. Again, this is not guaranteed, but we are trying to set ourselves up to succeed. Okay, and we do need to layer those things on, and so that we can get to our projected desired outcome. Little myth here. So teamwork never means having to take all the blame yourself. All right. Again, just poking a little fun at it, but again, team approach to everything. Team approach to everything. All right, this is where we're going to take a look at our first video today. Bear with me. I will try to make this as smooth as possible. And if you can just let me go, let me know. Does everyone see a video about to start here? Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
fantastic. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That was smoother than I envisioned it being. All right, here we go. So the video is going to play a couple times. It should be playing without sound, and I'll kind of walk us through it as we go. All right, video's now starting. The play is actually going to happen down at the other end. Okay, we're going to see a quick shot taken by this post player. Ball gets rebounded, goes down the floor very quickly. As you see, a 2-on-1 fast break, and then we see a lead come up with a foul. Okay, lead comes up with a foul before the dunk and is now signaling a no basket. And now we see a quick meeting between two officials. Comes across with information with the unsportsmanlike, and we go from there. Again, quick pass, hard foul. Again, lead here initially just signaling the regular foul. Okay. Now the center, who's made their way down the floor, as we can see in the corner there, okay, has a good eye on what's happening, can clearly see the lead down the corner, and sees the lead has a simple foul call, just a simple foul call on the excessive contact. And again, maybe I'll just replay it very, very quickly, but the center here comes in with great information, a quick upgrade, and then we do have the right call being made. So again, I'll just back it up a bit so we can just see that again. Rebound situation down the floor. As you can see, both officials hustling down. Lead with the simple foul call. Oh, my fault. It's actually going to be the trail. It's actually going to be the trail on the lead side. Quick discussion, and we are upgrading. Okay, excellent teamwork. Excellent teamwork in this scenario. As we can see, it is late in the game, fourth quarter, and is absolutely the right call that it's made here. Okay, we need to have an unsportsmanlike foul, as there is no attempt to play the ball, contact also being excessive. Okay, so again, teamwork, we get the right call made, and we go forward. Okay, a lot going on, a lot going on, tough game. All right, we're going to just jump back to where we were in the presentation. All right. Does everyone see we're back at the presentation? Click yes, no. Are we good? Or does everyone see we're back? Here we have 50%, 60% on our screen.
Right.
Thank you so much. Awesome, awesome. Again, I'm really new to this whole technology thing, so thank you. Rolling along, 50 to 60%. All right. This is the percentage of foul calls made by the lead in a game on average. Statistically, the lead has the smallest area of coverage by size. So when we take that into account, okay, that again, smallest area by size, and then we're getting the most calls in there. There is a need for teamwork. There is an absolute need for teamwork when you take that into account, okay? This should help justify the need for teamwork. Each official will work as lead inevitably. Many key decisions will come from the lead that determine the outcome of the game. So imagine if all three officials took upon themselves to officiate contact principles according to themselves, irregardless of what has been called by the partners. Okay? That would be disastrous, right? We will look into pre-gaming a little bit later, but given this, you can't neglect the importance of the 2PO and 3PO, as well as areas of responsibility, as those directly coincide with teamwork. Okay, cannot neglect those. Moving on, it's crucial to learn to understand the concepts of crew rotations and basic officiating techniques to be able to function as a team effectively. Ideally, each referee has only 1 to 2 active matchups in their area of responsibility. The challenge is ensuring that all referees pick up different matchups. Normally, each referee picks up the closest active matchup and possibly one more. The pregame conference plays a significant role in planning and to officiating techniques execution, and true officiating techniques execution, sorry. So if we do just quickly refer back to the roadmap, okay, so rule knowledge, mechanics, IoTs, and then teamwork, okay. Keep that in the back of our mind, again, layered approach. So when we do refer to 1 to 2 matchups, keep in mind, curl plays, weak side drives, okay? We must know when the play is in our area of responsibility, okay? As selfish as it may sound, this ultimately correlates to teamwork because your partners are expecting that you make a call. And we're going to explore the concept of having the open look and knowing when you have the open look as well. Moving on to pregame discussion. So this obviously occurs before tip-off. Pregame is absolutely necessary. It is to ensure that you and your partners or partner is or are on the same page when officiating together, and is where team officiating begins. So we need to have an active pregame with all members contributing. It's not just gone are the days when it's just one person. It's a top-down approach. One person may lead the discussion, but it's not just okay. In the pregame, the crew chief just talks and talks and talks, and then everyone just sits there quiet. Okay, it's active. It's active. We're all contributing. Little anecdote from Mike Holmesy, longtime field official in Quebec. He always told us this story, and I found it hilarious. So he was once arriving for an international game. I don't recall which country it is, but again, he arrives at the venue. They get there, they get into the locker room. The crew gets into the locker room, got changed, and now it's nearly game time. And then someone, maybe Mike, hinted at the fact, hey, are we going to have a pregame, for the game? Are we going to talk about what's going to happen? And Mike's partner, again, international referee, who I take was the crew chief, basically said, just waving his finger, and pointed at the rule book, said FIBA. And that was the extent of their pregame. They basically just walked out onto the floor. Again, gone are those days, I get what that crew chief was saying, again, we just do what's in the manual, but it's a little bit more than that. We've got to talk about it. We've definitely got to talk about that. The game now is too fast. There are too many variables. It's ever changing. Okay, we need to discuss the game. We'll talk about also the importance of scouting. It's a huge FIBA point of emphasis now. We need to scout teams. We need to talk about that stuff in the pregame as a team. Okay. Again, I emphasize talking it out. before the game, because failure to do so may mean we'll have to work it out on the floor in front of an audience. And I'd really rather not do that. That's just my take. I'd really rather not. So again, it's much more beneficial to talk it out beforehand. And those little points there. All right. Topics for pregame discussions. Okay, they include but are not limited to a couple aspects here. One, technical control. So shot clock, game clock, team fouls, timeout substitutions. Okay, instant replay system. So again, we do not have that, or do not use that, I should say, predominantly through Canada. But again, as technology comes, it will be coming. We should start to get more familiar with the instant replay system. End of period and end of game. Okay, those are again under technical control things we need to talk about. Game control, players, coaches, team benches, fight situations, technical, unsporting, disqualifying fouls, communication. Okay, must. Contacts and criteria, hand checking. How are we calling that? Post play, rebounding, screening, the block charge, flop fake. That's huge. Okay, needs to be discussed. RSBQ, rhythm, speed, balance, quickness, active shooting scenarios. Violations as well, traveling, carrying, interference, goaltending, and all are 3 seconds, 5, 8, 14, and 24. Need to discuss. The IoTs, okay, this was mentioned a little bit earlier. The individual officiating techniques. If you're not familiar with them, I suggest you take a read, through our resources. Okay, so IoTs include primary coverage areas, being distance and stationary, staying with the play, open angle, cross step, active mindset, dead ball efficiency. Okay, and there are a couple more. Okay, go through those IoTs. Let partners know what you're working on. Okay, maybe this game coming up, you're working on your cross step. Let them know that's what you're trying to improve. And then 2-person officiating, 3-person officiating. So your work is lead, trail center, close down, rotation, transition, fast break, rebounding, press situations, 3-point field goal coverage, on and off ball coverage, those things. Okay, talk about them. Again, there's a lot to cover, but take the time necessary. Yeah, we supposed to be at the venue at least, it depends on the game, but at least an hour before. So take the time necessary to discuss, to talk about these aspects. Pre-games, as mentioned, should include some scouting. It's a huge feeble point of emphasis right now. Other things not mentioned: double whistles, blarges, special situations, help situations. They share information. There's no sense in keeping information to yourself. Okay, we're working as a team with a common goal. So share the knowledge you have. Okay, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Also not mentioned in this, and we will talk about this a little bit later, but the whole eye contact. It's huge. And we'll touch on that in just a bit. Got another video coming up here. And I'm just going to stop sharing and move on to that new video. All right, so this may come out as very grainy. It is not a long video. I will play it a couple of times. As we can just see the basic setup here. You see the trail center is closest to us, and then lead on the baseline. All we're going to see here essentially. Oh,
haven't got it on yet.
Is it popping up right now?
Yeah, it's popped
Thank
up
you.
now.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So yeah, again, trails opposite. As I see, the center's closest to us and leads on the baseline. Again, very grainy. My apologies for that. But it's all to say we're going to see the majority of the action. It's the bench on the center side is going to be up behind the center. Okay, and we're going to see the teamwork in action here is that the trail will come in and assist the center in addressing it. So again, we're going to get the video started. The trail simply takes a couple of steps, motions to the bench to sit, and goes back. Again, you see it there circled in yellow, comes across. Maybe the center was blinded, maybe the center wasn't aware. Again, teamwork is a factor here. the trail sees it, addresses it, and goes back. Fantastic. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Okay. Just on that point, it could be a warning. It could be, oops, sorry. It could be a warning. It could be an official warning, or it could be a technical foul. Most importantly, it does not go ignored. Okay, and great teamwork there on behalf of the trail, just coming over and taking care of that as the center was not taking care of it for whatever reason. So, trying to move back to my presentation real quickly. Is everyone, are we back there? Are we back to the PowerPoint?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No, just a
Oh.
black screen.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. All right. What about now?
No.
No? Oh
All I
boy.
got is Nate Saunders has started screen sharing.
All right. Let me try this one more time.
Nate, maybe try stopping the share and then restart the share.
Okay. I think I got it now. What about now? Is it
Black
there?
screen, Nate.
Still black screen, really? Okay, I'm struggling. All right, what about now?
Nope.
Oh boy, yeah, I might need you to step in here, Rike.
Sure, I can do it.
Not sure what's going on right here. It says I'm sharing the screen, but I'm not sure what's going on.
You got it.
You're on
Al.
slide.
You got it.
Okay. Okay. Whose screen are you? What are you seeing on your screen?
Do you know effective teams?
Okay, now we're okay. Okay, so we're just Rike, if you don't mind, I think we're on slide 17. Sorry for this technical difficulty, my friends. Thank you for staying with me.
Is
Okay.
this the right slide?
No, I think we had just gone past this. So if you can just go to the next slide. Yeah, we'd gone through that. And this one, yeah, perfect. Okay, awesome. My apologies. Here we are back, we are rolling. All right. The key to successful 2PO and 3PO is one simple word, okay? And that word is trust. Would mind just clicking there, Rike? Awesome. And then once more. If you want to just click it once more, Rike. Yeah, thank you. You must trust your partners. Only then can you concentrate on your primary area of coverage and not have to worry about what is going on in your partner's area. Yeah. Okay. And this basic premise, the basic premise, sorry, is that an official should have an open look on a play before making a judgment. Okay, you should be able to officiate an area your partners aren't able to see. Okay, and we say here, and not have to worry about what's going on in your partner's area, but it's still always good to know. Okay, you should have an opinion on plays in your secondary. So it's not your primary area, but in your secondary, you should have an opinion on it. Okay, either if it's out of the corner of your eye or you had a good look on it, but you're holding back. Yeah, again, try to have an opinion on those plays. Okay, and we'll explore that a little bit more too. Would mind going to the next slide? Team officiating, general concepts. All right, And then press again. In a game setting, team officiating is about helping your partners with fouls outside their primary coverage area. When giving help, you must be correct. Your partners should acknowledge that coming outside your area was a good get. Okay, and this comes with experience. Okay, don't expect new officials to grasp this concept readily. You need to get games under your belt. You need to be in those situations, especially when it comes to three-person officiating. Again, when you've worked enough games in three-person, you'll know when your partner either hasn't seen something, got blocked, again, and then it's up to you to know and to be ready to step up and make a decision if need be. Okay. Next slide, please. Remember to trust your partners at all times, and no one calls are being passed on. Again, just as we touched on. Next slide, please. Teamwork in action. Okay, so consider the following situations where you must anticipate the outcome. Again, this is active mindset, and be ready to make a call, or at the very least have an opinion on play. So sorry about the graphic being in front of the text. Again, having a lot of technical issues today, but I will still go through them. So when your partner closest to the play is not in a good position to make the call, situation one. And then situation two, when your partner has been screened out or has been obstructed from the play. Number three, when your partner is late in transition for whatever reason. When your partner sees it differently from everyone else in the gym, otherwise known as a missed call. Number five, when your partner has the majority of the play in their primary. Or six, curl plays coming towards you or that give you an open angle. Again, referring to that open angle. Okay, so again, be ready, have an opinion. Be sure to give your partner a chance to blow the whistle as well. Don't come in too hot, okay? Again, basketball is fast, it is dynamic. You're gonna take that second, 2 seconds, pause, oh, no call, we need a call, boom, come in, bang, you got the call, okay? Essentially, you're the second line of defense, okay? And at times, the last line of defense. So again, be ready. Awesome. So we have another video. If you don't mind, I will try to play it on my end, and I'll try to resume from where I was. So give me 1 second here. My computer's so slow. All right, here we go. All right, is everybody seeing a YouTube video about to begin? A lot of green in the picture. Are we seeing it?
Not yet.
Still no?
Nope.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, what about now?
Nope.
No, nothing.
All right,
Nate, when you screen share, it should give you an option to pick which screen you want to share. I'm thinking maybe you're picking the wrong screen.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Let me, yeah. What about now? Are you seeing my screen? Still no?
Still no.
Nope.
That's unreal. Last ditch effort right here. What about now?
No yet.
Okay.
Nothing.
So I appreciate it, folks. Ricky, if you wouldn't mind, video 3, if you have it there.
1 second.
Shot clock fails to reset. And if you can just let me know when people are seeing it, because I'm not sure what's
We're seeing it now.
Okay, fantastic. I might just have to let Rike continue on. Sorry about that, folks. Not sure what's going on today. Try to be prepared for these situations, but there's only so much we can do. All right, Rike, when you're ready, You can just roll through it. Okay, so what we're gonna see here, plays happening. Shot clock, we're gonna get down to about 9 or so, and the team's gonna prepare for a shot. Again, 3-person crew here. Takes a shot, goes to the rim. The ball actually does hit the rim. As you can see in the top corner, the trail is signaling for reset. The center doesn't see the rim and calls for a cancellation, shot clock violation. They're now having a quick conference, quick conference. Comes in with information, and then we do have a good basket going forward. Okay, a lot going on, pretty quick. Ricky, if you wouldn't mind just playing it again, so we can see. Awesome. So again, late in the shot clock. It's coming down to about 9 right now. You're going to see a trail side drive down the middle. Ball does hit the rim. Trail's going to signal for a reset. Okay, the center doesn't pick it up. Center did not see the initial shot hit the rim. Sees that secondary shot was late, initially calls for it to be canceled. The trail runs over with information. Great teamwork. Quick discussion. And then we do have a good basket, as the basket otherwise would have been good had the reset been done here. Again, so again, this, I'm not sure what league that was. If those were FIBA rules, it's irrelevant. The point here is teamwork, communication. Great communication on behalf of the trail, who did initially try to signal that we needed a reset. And as soon as they saw the partner blow the whistle, ran over, quick correction. Hey, you can come in with info. This is what I have. We have a correction, and the correct call is made going forward. So again, the trail here was ready. They were ready to make the call. Okay, it's just again, great work. Initially nonverbal communication. They needed to talk about it. They did as a crew, and then going forward. So again, great teamwork, and that's about it. We'll keep moving on. Okay, teamwork in action. So these are going to be situations where teamwork and officiating is likely to apply. Okay, so transition plays for one. Next, officiating a secondary defender on block charge plays. 2 points here. So identifying the correct free throw shooter. Whether 2 or 3 points shall be awarded on a successful attempt for field goal. Whether 2 or 3 free throws shall be awarded on an unsuccessful attempt for field goal. Then we have to determine the correct time on the game clock or shot clock following a malfunction. Then we have upgrading a foul call, unsportsmanlike or disqualifying foul. Next point, to identify the involvement of any team member or bench personnel during an act of violence, i.e. fighting scenario. So again, act of violence is now the new FIBA term, okay? Whether a shot for successful field goal was released before the game clock signal sounded for the end of the quarter or overtime. To identify the player who has caused the ball to go out of bounds. And then the last point there is going to be, apologies, whether goaltending or basket interference was called correctly. And actually the last point now is going to be game saving calls. So again, there's a lot of scenarios there. I kind of just rattled through them very, very quickly. Okay. Again, situations where teamwork and officiating is likely to apply. And again, I'm sorry for the graphics. They seem to be overlapping for whatever reason. But as you can see, okay, starting with whether 2 or 3 points, starting with identifying the correct free throw shooter. Okay, there's an asterisk, and there's an asterisk on a couple of points there. There's a signal asterisk on approximately 4 or 5 points. There's a double asterisk on a single point down there, whether a shot for a successful field goal was released before the game clock signal sounded for the end of a quarter or overtime. And there's a triple asterisk on 2 points to identify the player who has caused the ball to go out of bounds and whether goaltending or basket interference was called correctly. Okay, so these they have something in common. So signal asterisk has something in common. The double asterisk has something something in common as well as the third ones. And I'm just gonna, typically I'd open the floor up and have you take a guess. The things that these have in common with are IRS reviews. Okay, it's an instant replay system reviews. And so why is this relevant? You're asking. Okay, so instant replay system reviews for the signal asterisks are at any point of the game. Signal asterisks, any point of the game. Okay, you have to think back what the point of the IRS review is. Okay, that means it's a dead ball scenario. We're going to the table and we're going to look at footage. The point here is to get the call right. Okay, and this is the same concept. If you read those points back, again, teamwork has the same objective, is to get the call right. Okay, the double asterisk point is whether a shot for successful field goal was released before the game clock signal sounded for the end of overtime or the quarter. Okay, that again is an IRS scenario on the last shot of the quarter or overtime. Again, if we're stopping the game, we're going to ensure the call was made correctly. We're going to the monitor. Okay, and again, typically FIBA wants 2 people going to the monitor for those reviews. There's teamwork involved. Okay, and then the triple asterisk points to identify the player who has caused the ball to go out of bounds and whether goaltending or basket interference was called correctly. Okay, these are IRS review scenarios within the last 2 minutes of the game or overtime. Okay, again, we are trying to get the call right, and that's where teamwork comes into play. You can't do it by yourself if you don't have the knowledge, if you don't have the information. You get the team in, and those scenarios you get the call right at all costs. Okay. Again, IRS is done at dead ball scenarios. Okay, we take the time necessary, take the time we need to come to the proper conclusion, the correct conclusion for the game. Again, IRS scenarios, because we're taking the time to look back at a monitor and play it over several times, they're not subjective. Okay, they're reviewed on tape. Okay, if it's the same concept with the team. If we're getting together to meet, take the time necessary. We'll get all the info we can, and we'll come to the best decision for the game. Okay, a lot going on that slide, I know. My apologies that it didn't come out too smooth. But yeah, my basic point there is it's teamwork in action, and they coincide with the instant replay system reviews with FIBA. All right, we are going to move on. VK, if you mind helping me, we're going to move on to the last video. Great video. Again, not FIBA rules, but the fact of teamwork remains. So when you're ready, VK, we can roll through it. We'll probably play it twice. We're going to see a center side drive, essentially, end up under the basket, and then we'll talk through what happens. So when you're ready, VK, if you wouldn't mind.
1 second.
No problem. All right, perfect. All right, perfect. So here we go again. High school game, from what it looks like. Ball's coming up the floor. It's happening fast. Drive from the center side. Okay, goes under the basket. Ends up in front of the lead. It happens very fast. Again, we'll play it again if you wouldn't mind just playing it again. Ball comes up the floor. Quick play, center side. Ends up being a drive. Ends up right in front of the lead. Okay, as you can see, the baseline isn't very deep. Lead gets eaten up on the play. And I think what we were able to see there is the end result of the trail with the foul call. Excellent teamwork. Okay, again, if we did divide the court down the middle, we'd see the player from the center side drive away from the center towards the hoop, make a move, and actually go underneath the basket, crossing the lane line, and now ending up in front of lead. The lead, again, possibly 2 to 3 feet away from the plate, but eaten up by it. Can't make the call off the hop, as the player is airborne as well. So plays up above or near the rim area. The trail recognizes this, is in great position, has a great look. As it might be tough to see in this, but there is a cadence. Waits, you don't have a call, makes the foul call. Excellent teamwork. Excellent recognition by the trail to know what happened in this play. It's definitely his secondary area responsibility. Again, is just ready to make the call and does so. Okay, so yeah, again, just be ready. Be ready when you do have that open angle, which the trail did. Get an open look at it, despite being in front of the lead. Was the trail's call to make? Made the call, confident, and it was the right call. No one said anything. Okay, so fantastic right there. All right, next slide. Did you know effective teams? Okay. One of the 5 key dynamics of effective teams that researchers identified was psychological safety. Okay, and it was deemed by far the most important. Okay, so again, feeling safe, that got your back principle. Okay, having your teammates in your corner, when situations get tough. Psychological safety, by far the most important aspect. And then the others too, okay? Dependability, we'll just go down the list there. Dependability is knowing your partners can be trusted and relying on them in those situations, okay? Again, we are tailoring this to officiating, but I did just want to touch on those. But, just do know that trust and psychological safety are related, but they're not necessarily interchangeable. Okay, one contributes to the other and vice versa. So when a team, like a team of officials, feels safe, they'll be more empowered to face challenges. Okay, and you can possibly just take the time, maybe you think back on some games where you did feel that safety with your partners, you did feel that comfort level. Again, it goes such a long way in your confidence, and it will ultimately, I think, help your call selection. Next slide, please. Now the 5 dysfunctions of a team, and we'll look at these. This is by Patrick Lencioni. The number 1 being lack of trust. Lack of trust, okay? Not willing to be open and honest within the group, or failing to admit you were wrong, failing to share personal weaknesses, or be vulnerable with one another. Okay, we're all referees. We all go through the same thing, okay? It's okay to be vulnerable with one another. Let someone know, hey, this is where I'm experiencing a little bit of, I'm having a little bit of trouble in this area. Just letting the team know that. So if you do see the situation arise, feel free to come in and help. Again, it's okay to be vulnerable. Number 2, fear of conflict. So seeking artificial harmony over constructive, passionate debate. Okay, we're here to talk. We're here to get better. Okay, there's nothing wrong with a good debate. Okay, now number 3, lack of commitment. Not being committed to the conclusions and decisions made in the team meeting or the pregame, for example. Lack of commitment also can refer to, maybe you've heard a partner say, oh, I'd rather be out golfing or doing this or doing that right now. But you got to remember, maybe it might be the biggest game of your partner's career, and the fact that you just said that, demeans the entire situation. So be careful, just be aware, I guess this is what I'm trying to say, of how we're portraying our of what we're thinking. And because again, it'll come out even if you might not say it. Sometimes you go out and referee and it shows a lack of commitment as well. Just be careful, keep that in mind. Number 4, avoidance of responsibilities. Ducking the responsibility to call peers superiors on counterproductive behavior, which sets low standards. Okay, so, and number 5, lack of focus on team results. Okay, so choosing to work on personal career development or, personal goals instead. So you may have heard someone say, I'm just doing this game so I can work playoff games in this league later this year. It's the same. That's a personal goal there that you're putting out there. Or you might have heard someone say, oh, I only took this game because they're paying cash or something like that. Again, that's not a team focused goal. That is, again, ideally we're striving for teamwork here. Let's be there for the right reasons. Okay, we've all been there, but let's keep it professional. Let's keep your teammates in mind. Maybe you're a youth sport, a level 3, 4, 5 official, and your partner has had this game circled on their calendar for months, just looking to work with you. That's happened. That's the case. So keep that in mind as well, and keep it again, professional team environment at all times. At all times. All right, VK, for my next slide, please. So the crew chief role and responsibility. So the crew chief's responsibility is to foster psychological safety and trust amongst the crew. Okay, so again, demonstrating engagement, show understanding, be inclusive in decision making, ask for the team's input, show confidence and conviction without appearing inflexible, admit when you're wrong, learn to cope with game errors. Okay, keep in mind, number 1, it's part of the game, and number 2, nothing kills psychological safety quicker than a negative reaction to an error. So again, just it's for that last point there, it's the same as in team sports, and I'm sure a lot of us have played team sports at one time or another. But again, think of you being on a softball pitch, and you drop an easy fly ball, and you make the error, and you just see all your teammates' heads drop, or them sigh out loud, or gasp, or show frustration. It just, if you've never been there, that feeling, it's that lack of psychological safety is apparent. It's right there, and the momentum shifts. And keep in mind, opponents. So if you're on a softball pitch, the other team, they'll sense that, and the momentum shifts. The same kind of thing too, like amongst a team of referees, the coaches, or maybe even players, they can pick up on that stuff as well, and they might want to exploit that. Again, they're trying to win the game. They're trying to get any advantage they can. They're trying to exploit any lapses in, the trust or the team framework of the team. So again, keep those things in mind. Keep those things in mind going forward. Next slide, please. Cristiano Moreno. So this official here, if international referee from Brazil. For those who haven't had the opportunity to either see him work or met him, I had the luxury, the pleasure of meeting and working with Mr. Moreno on a couple of occasions. And the reason why he's in this slide is just because when I do think of that, and again, there are a whole slew of Canadian officials I could have chosen, but without, I decided to go outside and just talk about this official here, who I thought was a great example of a crew chief who did foster that psychological safety. Again, his accolades are all listed there. So Olympic Games, Men's World Cup, Women's World Cup, Pure Basket, Pan Am Games. So again, he's layered on. I think he did just retire in this past March, but I think he did have 25, 26 years at the field level or something to that effect. All that to say, but where he was as a crew chief, he was able to foster that psychological safety and make us all feel at home. So my anecdote in this was just that I had gotten the opportunity to work with him. I'd be with him actually, because we worked 2 games over 4 days and traveled through South America throughout those 2 games. And he was the one who really pushed the whole eye contact aspect, pushed it, and that was his whole thing, the connection, the team. Just a little story on that. It was So I had worked with him prior, and I'll never forget that first time I worked with him because I remember the game began up and down a couple times, and a timeout came, and he came to me and he said, "Nate, I need you to look at me." I said, what do you mean look at you? And the concept is foreign to me. He said, "I need you to look at me, Nate." He said, "When you go down his lead, I need you to look at me and the trail. I'll be looking at you, and I won't, my gaze won't leave your eyes until we make eye contact with me." So I said, okay. And then I went back into the game, and as I'm refereeing, this is not something I typically did. So I could feel him looking at me, and I, there I was trying to make that eye contact with him. And it took a while, but I'm telling you, when I was able to do it, when I was able to just, again, play came down and settled, we'd make eye contact, between me and him, and then also our partner on the other side, it did give me that sense of calm. It did give me that sense of reassurance that we were on the same page, that we were connected. So again, it was just a fantastic experience, having learned that there and then worked on it, added it to my game. And then, if you wouldn't mind, Ricky, the next slide, we did go on to work those 2 games over those 4 days. And again, ended up being qualifier games. Again, and he was just pushing that teamwork aspect right from the pregame right through, and he kept us all on that same page. Next slide, if you don't mind. He kept us together. He kept us strong. At timeouts, we would talk. He was up front. He kept it honest with us. As you can see, a big game, a lot of pressure. I think like 15,000 or something like that fans, and they don't boo. This was in Uruguay. They don't boo, they whistle. So just whistling fans. But again, we stayed focused, we stayed connected, and we weren't perfect by any means. And that game, we were not perfect, but we got through it. And again, I have him to thank for that experience. And if you would mind, next slide as well. And if you would, and that whole eye contact thing is something that I'm trying to implement in my games here. When I'm working, whether I'm crew chief or not, I'm trying to implement that eye contact here. And I would like to see it develop a little bit more in Canada as well. So again, talk about it in your pre-games. Talk about the eye contact and connecting on plays and seeing each other at all times, because it goes a long way. It goes a much further way than one can imagine. Okay, so yeah, that's basically my little story about Cristiano, my experience with it. So yeah, wouldn't mind next slide, please. Correlation. So this is not a proven theory by any means, but I do believe, I'm a strong believer that a high level of team efficiency does equal or does come to an increased call accuracy. Why? Because we feel safe, we feel comfortable. Okay, we are, we're able to talk about things. We're able to adjust. Okay, again, not proven, but my belief that there is a correlation there in some way, shape, or form. Okay, just a note to upcoming officials. There's someone you look up to that makes you feel safe or demonstrates that teamwork. Okay, do take the time to get to know that person. Send them an email, message them, go see them at a game, and let them know, hey, I like the way you work, or we work together, and I really appreciate the way you made me feel in the game. I felt safe, I felt strong, I felt confident, and then work with that person, okay, and try to implement that on your own. Okay. Again, teamwork at all costs goes a long way. Next slide, please. Video analysis. So again, a valuable tool to help us learn from our mistakes. Review plays as well as share views as a crew. To be prepared to acknowledge your mistakes and to hear criticism. The goal is to learn. The goal is to improve, okay, at all costs. Okay, you can't do it alone. And again, I leave your ego in the parking lot. Okay, just leaving your ego in the parking lot. It's as simple as that. We're not perfect. We will make mistakes. We're referees. The goal is to get better and working towards getting and better at all times. Okay, the tape doesn't lie. So crew chiefs, take it upon yourself to integrate game tape into your pregame if possible. Okay, we're getting there with technology. The NBA, again, probably the most technologically advanced, they're able to do it at halftime. Even they're able to look at plays at halftime and dissect them. Okay, let's use technology to our benefit to improve. Strictly constructive. I just have one more to go and I promise I'm done. So thank you, everyone. Sorry about that. Don't know what just happened. Lastly, just wanted to say the goal here is just to put your crews first. Just to quote Mike, as you came in timely, Mike Thompson always says, build relationships, not friendships. And then you have the little quote there. I was a good referee thanks to my partners. They made me look good. Okay, so again, work as teams. Again, games are coming in now. We're getting back to where we were. Take the time to improve that teamwork aspect. I promise it'll help you in the long run. It'll make games fun. And then you meet friends and people that end up being friends, colleagues off the court too. So it's just a great thing. And last quote I'll leave you all here with is, if you take the team out of teamwork, it's just work. And in the end, who wants that? So that is all. Thank you so much for sticking through, everybody who did join. You just flip to the last slide, Ricky. And if you have any questions, we'll open it up for any questions you may have. Thank you again.
Thanks, Nate. Thank you very much, Nate. That was great. We'll pause for a minute and just see if anybody's got any questions. I think everybody's able to open their microphone and come on if they do. Okay, so as I was saying, for everybody, the material Nate's got in his presentation is just incredibly valuable information. It's something that we can all learn from, and this concept really of making the third team the best team is critical for us, and it is about that teamwork. And I think we've talked across the country of having to have some real flexibility this year as we work in environments with different restrictions, some regional health authorities having different requirements than other regional health authorities, the ability to be flexible in changing game times. But I think we really help ourselves if we can concentrate on this concept of teamwork and keep in mind the principles that Nate talked around about the FIBA protocols, the game control, the IoTs, all of those things. So on behalf of CBOC, Nate, we really want to thank you for taking the time tonight. Remind everyone that we're back 2 weeks from tonight with Nadine Crowley and MP Mallow doing a presentation on dead ball officiating. And we will announce a presentation on resiliency for November the 3rd. So you can mark the calendars for November the 3rd. We'll get that material available over the next couple of weeks and have another presentation November 3rd. So thank you all. Nate, I see there's